What up, world? This your boy Doc, and welcome to another edition of Doc TV. Now, I'm about to review a CD. I'm talking about that fresh Miley Cyrus Bangerz, people. I'm talking about that Bangerz from Miley Cyrus. I'm gonna talk about the CD, and I'm gonna get my opinion on. Y'all never got my opinion on who I think about Miley, who I call my white Nubian twerk goddess, but she doesn't like the twerking anymore. So because too many white people are doing it. So I'm gonna talk about how I feel about Miley. I'm gonna give you my opinions of Miley. But her album Bangers came out, and that's what the album exactly is, full of bangers. It's a lot of high joints. So there's collaborations with Britney Spears, French Montana, Big Sean, Ludacris, Future, Nelly. It's a hot CD though. It's a really hot CD. So I'm gonna review the CD first. Um, there's production up there from Mike Will Made It, of course, who executive produced the album with Miley. Then there's music by Pharrell and Dr. Luke, with on the big hit right now, Wrecking Ball. So it's a really good CD. It's a very cool CD. She worked with Rock City as well, playing it for. Um, I'm gonna give you my review right now. So it starts off with the song "Adore You." Now it kind of took me by surprise that she would open a CD called Bangers. We got this image of Miley so much right now, where it's so hard hitting and it's so you know gutter in a sense, it's so grimy and everything like that, and she has that grit to her now. So it was very crazy that she opened the CD with kind of a softer sound with the song "Adore You" that Stacey Barth did, and the song is actually already in the top 10 of iTunes. So that's an indication what the next single should be, or what the next single might be. It definitely might be "Adore You," but it's a very nice song though. Like Miley really sounds good on it, and I can honestly, I just love the song. Miley really, she really sounds good on it. Like it's a very well written song. Stacey Barth really did her thing on it. Who is one of my favorite songwriters out there too, because she's done stuff with Britney Spears. Who she did one of my favorite Britney songs from the Circus album, which is probably the only song from the Circus album that I really only like is the song Blur, and Stacey Barth and Luke James did that song together. But still, that was Stacey Barth really did a thing on Adore You. Then it goes into We Can't Stop, the song we all know, the big top 2 hit on the album. Um, that Mike Will did, the first inkling of that song of what their collaboration that we heard. And so we all know about We Can't Stop, Hot Joint. I'm gonna get into that in a little bit too. Then it goes into the song SMS Bangers featuring Britney Spears. Mike Will produced it. Sean Garrett wrote on it. As it samples Salt and Peppers, it slightly samples Salt and Peppers Push It. It's all over the place kind of collaboration with Miley and Britney. They're using some big words in the dictionary. I see they went to the school of Mariah Carey to use some big words from the dictionary that we probably don't know about for real, unless you actually go to, the thesaurus or your dictionary and you say, oh, that's what that word means. So Miley got she's schooling these people, y'all. She's schooling your children, people, to use bigger words in their essays and their papers. So don't hate on Miley. But Britney, she fits the track well, and I look at this, people say it's all messy and it's this, that, and the other. Of course it's messy. It's called Bangers. It's called SMS Bangers, which stands for Strutting My Stuff. But the thing about that song is it's kind of like Miley's Fergalicious. How it has that whole, just all over the place bouncy attitude to it. So I actually like the song, and that was supposed to be the third single too. So we might see if that's the third single too. But Miley, and Larry Rudolph and RCA Records decided to do it. They should. I think she should do a dual third single release. She has the power now to do it. So do it. Miley, do a dual third single release. Do SMS Bangers just for the hell of it, even if you don't think it's going to be a big hit, but it is in the top 30 of iTunes. But still, do that and then do Adore You, which is already top 10 on iTunes. So we shall see how that goes. But at the same time, too, Miley's already done the battle with Wrecking Ball, and We Can't Stop wasn't a very upbeat song, so they have a very upbeat song. So with SMS, instead of going straight back into another slow song, a la Rihanna, how she's doing with the Unapologetic album, but we shall see. So leaving from that, then it goes to the number 4, which is 4x4, cleverly, number 4, and that features Nelly, produced by Pharrell, one of the first joints on the album produced by Pharrell, and it's a very hot song. It's very country. She's a female rebel. You know, she's about to piss on herself and stuff like that. I like that song. It's very country. It's one of those songs I can picture a video for that too, because you can just picture the video. You can picture the redneck attitude in the video. Her in the pickup truck riding around in the dirt in Tennessee. It sounds like a song that you would listen to on the back roads to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. You know, with neon lights in the background that say Bangerz and Nelly riding up in his Porsche, whatever you want to do. It's a very I love the songs where you can just hear the imagery in it. So I can just picture everything about that video. So her and Pharrell did a good job with that one. And then it goes into My Darling featuring Future. And I like that song too. I actually think that could be a single as well. Miley sounds very beautiful on it. Future, even though I can't stand him sometimes, he actually fits the song well too. And it's a shame that Future does better songs with with Miley. As far as female wise, he does better songs with Miley. Another better song with Rihanna. Love song. But he can't do a song to save his life with his girl, with Sierra. And I'm not gonna get into Where You Go. I don't. I like the song. It's nice for what it is, but I didn't like it. So, but still, but you can do a hot song with your girl though. I'm just saying. But that's just my opinion though. So it leads from My Darling, which samples Stand By Me by Benny King. So we all know that song, Stand By Me. I'm not going to sing right now. My vocals not up to par right now. But then it goes into the record, Wrecking Ball, which you all know about. Dr. Luke produced it. Very hot joint. Then after that, it goes into Love Money Party, which is record with Big Sean. It has a little, down south, crunk to it. It has a little bounce to it, so it's a really hot joint as well. Um, Another record too that's number 8 is Get It Right. Well, hashtag Get It Right, produced by Pharrell. That's one of my favorite joints. I'm a sucker for any Pharrell production, so y'all know I'm a big fan of Pharrell's. That it's just something about that record. It's so simplistic with the whistles in the back and everything, and it doesn't. It's not. It's in my opinion, it's a huge record. I like it. It's like a nice little toe tapper. It's very hot. So I actually like that joint. Get It Right. And then the next record after Get It Right is Drive. That should be another single too. That's like the urban version of Wrecking Ball. Mike Will did his thing on that. He did it on that joint, and I actually like that song Drive. So that should be in that single too. The next joint after that is FU featuring French Montana. At first I didn't really get into it, but then after a lot of listens, I was like, oh, this is a really nice joint. So I actually like it. So that's a nice joint as well. On the next record after that is Do My Thing, that was produced by will.i.am. And when I first heard it, I was like, oh goodness, another will.i.am dance, pop production, EDM production, which is nothing wrong with that. But Miley, it's kind of probably not her lane right now. But then that beat drop, and he do the OEOEOs that he did from Screaming Shot with Britney. But it's very urban, like Miley's rapping. She's trill on that joint. She sounds like Diamond from Crime Mob, like she did on 23 with Mike Will and them. I like that joint. Do My Thing. Like she talking about bang bitches. It's like, Miley, you better do that, Miley. Do it. And then after that is Maybe You're Right, which is a nice little summer joint with some little country elements to it. Kind of brings you back to a Hannah Montana element, but the element that her fans know and love from before. So that she always had that piece of stuff that her fans knew from before. And then the next joint after that is Someone Else, which is a nice closer for the album, for the regular version that Mike Will did. Now for the bonus deluxe edition tracks, cause I got the deluxe edition, I was trying to figure out which version of the cover I wanted to get. So I wanted to get with the Kaya looking version of it. Shout out to Kaya Thug Misses. Now, Rooting for My Baby, Pharrell did that one. It's nice. It reminds me of a Sade record, just laid back. You just want to see the sunrise with that song. It's a nice joint. And then On My Own is another Pharrell produced joint too, that has this funk knock to it. I love it. Hands in the Air with Ludacris is number 13. That number 16. What number is it? 16 or something like that. 16. Excuse me, number 16. that features Ludacris. It reminds me of Mariah Carey's Side Effects, though, just the sound of it. But Mike Will did that one too, and it's a very nice record too. So Bangerz is full of bangers. It's a hot album. Y'all should definitely pick it up. Even if you wasn't a Miley fan before, I've always been on Miley for the longest, ever since she came out, because I was low key a fan of Hannah Montana. You know, it was pretty hilarious, and being that I had a little sister, I have a little sister who, when my little sister was, my little sister, now she's not my little big sister, but when she was my little sister, she always used to watch Hannah Montana and stuff like that. So I had no choice but to watch Hannah Montana. But it was, so I've seen Miley's evolution. And speaking of her evolution, Miley is almost 21 now. She turns 21 in November. And people have been getting on her about her whole twerking and stuff, her whole wild and loud, her whole getting turned up and stuff like that. What y'all need to realize is Miley is 20. She's at the age now where people her age are doing these things. People are going to the club to get turned up. People are going to, they are smoking, doing this, what, and the other. Miley is basically showing you what 20-year-olds are doing right now. So parents out there, you think your daughter Kara is out there partying with Dorothy Jane, Tiffany, and Brittany, and Kelly, and all of them. But no, your daughter's actually hanging out with Markeisha. Your daughter is hanging out with Jarakatama. Your daughter's out there at the hottest hip hop clubs right now, partying right now, and then she go right back to Valley Gale, and then she go back to Willow Grove, and she's right there. Your daughter went from North Philly, and she come right back to Willow Grove to Abington to be all in happy comforts of her home. But when she goes out that night, she's going to North Philly, people. She's going to the hottest club in North Philly. She's going to, don't get it twisted. So Miley's just representing what 20-year-olds are doing right now. 20-year-olds aren't prim proper like they used to be, especially white girls. That's just my opinion from I've seen it, because I have friends who are white, of course. But still, I didn't say that, of course, like, y'all know what I meant by that. But, yeah, Miley just showing the reality of what it is to be a young 20-year-old person right now in the industry, well, in the world right now. So what Miley's doing right now, I don't think it's a gimmick at all. What Miley is doing is basically Miley is being a real person. She's being her. She's being real. And I think people can't accept that because they've seen her go from Hannah Montana, this, that, and the other. But y'all got to remember, too, it was a gap between that whole Can't Be Tamed album and this album. It was like a 3-year gap between it. So y'all had enough time to block out the Hannah Montana imagery, because they was even showing Hannah Montana during her, break in between the album, Can't Be Tamed in this album. Even when Can't Be Tamed came out, she was at her very last stage of Hannah Montana, which she said on SNL was murdered. And she did a good job on SNL too, I gotta say that as well, because when she was on SNL, she was good. People give her flat too, just to hate. But her Michelle Bachmann wig, though, she actually need to go back to brunette and have a little short wig with a black suit on. She looked very Madonna-ish and she looked hot. I actually liked it. Another thing too, on top of that, is that Miley, she, the whole VMA performance thing, I thought was cool. She said in her documentary too, Miley the Movement, that this is a movement, so everything's strategically planned to get you talking, because she rather have you talking for 2 weeks than for 2 seconds. But she's already to the next. She's not thinking about that performance anymore. But when she was dressed as a bear or had the little, turkey cutlet pants on, and then, the twist doodle-doos in her hair and stuff like that, and and with the tongue hanging out and everything like that. But I mean, Miley is being a regular 20-year-old, but she just happens to be in the industry, and she just happens to have a hot album, and she happens to have a hot personality and everything, and people just say it. But as you can see, even black people are embracing her, and we've always been, the minute people or that people, there are like 3 white people that black people always get into. When I mean, that's singing wise, or in the music industry. So black people always rock with Britney Spears on the low. Black people rock with Christina Aguilera, and black people rock with Miley Cyrus now. So that's just what it is. So y'all gotta accept it for what it is. So Miley, she's doing her thing, and like she said in her song, she's gonna do her thing. And Bangerz is a hot album, so y'all make sure y'all pick it up. That was my review of Miley Cyrus Bangerz, and thank y'all for checking out. Peace.